Hey, Coach, I'm so excited that you found us on YouTube. I've been coaching for 30 years, put a lot of videos up there for you to use. I hope you're enjoying them. Let me know how I can help you in this great journey. Coach, this guy, he's pretty good. I think he's playing for the Bucks this year. But let me help you. You know, I've been through it. I've won a lot of championships. You can see behind. Run one of the best high school programs in the country. I can help. I've been there. I've coached my son's team, the youth teams. Let me help you through this great journey. Teachhoops.com is the answer. One-on-one calls, office hours, resources, you name it. We got it. We can help you. I have been there. So let me help you through this journey. So go over and check it out. Enjoy the video.
All right. Welcome to High School Hoops, episode 97. I was trying to figure out what day this is going up. June 24th, I believe this is, right? June 24th?
24th of June.
We're going to talk about some fun stuff that's probably pertinent to all of you. But before we do that, I'd like to give a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish. Great shooting machine. Go out and buy one. Like I've said before, if my son was a freshman or sophomore in high school, I'd go buy maybe I'd buy the home version, but I wouldn't get the $350 discount. So I might buy one of the other ones. So mention Coach Unplugged or High School Hoops, and they'll give you $350 off your next purchase. Also, I'd go join teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. What allows us to keep these podcasts going. It's your way to give back. 14-day free trial right now. My programmer just sent me the first wave of edits for the updated site. So I'm hoping in the next month or so that's going to be up. It looks really good, nice and clean, and looks a little different than it did before, but looks going to do the same thing. So go over and check that out. All right. So Coach, what's this week's topic?
Well, before we get on topic, we always have like a pre-meeting before we start working on some podcasts, and we had a hard time trying to come up with topics because the whole entire United States is in complete disarray with high school athletics and just in general. Well, as from an education standpoint, from teachers to, and every city is different, every state is different. It's completely crazy. And so like we've had a hard time. We've been trying really hard to keep our topics completely relevant. But at this point now, there's a huge separation amongst everybody. And we're just going to continue now getting ready.
I think it's hard. I think it was hard. I think it was easier during the pandemic because everyone was at home.
Right. Well, that's not the case anymore.
No, it's not. And every state's a little different. So we'll come back. We'll circle back to this. In the fall, because I think it will be more probably uniform at some point. But for right now, we're going to kind of go through things that we think are helpful for you at this point. Some of you, I like this one. This week's, I think, is going to be pertinent to everybody. It's just where you are on that scale. But so just so you know that we're not ignoring it. We're not ignoring Black Lives Matter. We're not ignoring that stuff. We're just giving you content. Some normalcy in it. White privilege. I'm going to go on a tangent for a second. White privilege is real. Racism is real. I see it every day, and I'm a white male. And the way I discussed it with my son is I don't sit and talk to you about what it's going to be like when you get pulled over by a cop. Have I ever talked to you about that? He goes, no. I go, well, it's because you're a white male living in the United States, and that's why. And then we had a long discussion about white privilege and 400 years of basically institutional racism. And, one of the reasons I went into public education and one of the reasons I became a teacher is to be a little bit of that fight to help it. But yeah, sometimes I think, and we live in Wisconsin, I think sometimes, and I live in Dane County, which is in Madison, very liberal community. Racism is real in Dane County, and it is real in Madison.
Yeah, I teach in Milwaukee, and
it's almost worse. It's almost worse. I told my son it's almost worse because the racists are hiding. There's places in the South where they just don't hide. They're out.
Right.
They're like.
our state in general, there's a lot of hiding, and there's like Milwaukee is still segregated, and there's pockets, and it's hard to understand.
Milwaukee's horrible. Milwaukee's like one of the most segregated cities in the country.
It is the segregated city, I believe. So it's
racism's real.
It is. And
I might leave Wisconsin if Trump wins. I'm sorry if you stop listening to me. I don't care. So stop listening, because anyway, I just lost 12% of the listeners. Oh well, I don't care. I mean, he's not. Okay, I won't go on a political tangent. But come on. Okay, no, I'm gonna stop. Okay, go ahead.
All right, we're good. So
we'll go on. That'll be my fourth. That'll be my fourth podcast. That is one thing I wanted to do before I forgot.
Go ahead.
We'll leave Black Lives, because that makes my heart hurt and makes me cry. I just started a new podcast, teachersidegig.com. I'm very excited about it. I started it for the sole purpose of just giving back to teachers. That's the only reason. I gave my son a little money to go make me a website so I'd keep him busy, to be honest with you. So I was trying to keep my 18-year-old busy. And I gave him some Bitcoin to do it. So he's super excited. But anyway, Teacher Side Gig is, I want to throw that in because this will be perfect timing for everyone that's listening. It's just a couple weeks old. There'll be I launched with 4 podcasts. By the time this goes up, there'll be 6 or 7 of them. So go over teachersidegig.com or go over, just type in Teacher Side Gig Podcast. It's on iTunes. It's on Stitcher. It's everywhere. And what I'm doing is I'm doing 2 things. I'm interviewing teachers, because every teacher I know now has a side gig, which is crazy to me. And I'm just giving some input of what I've done, all my side gigs, and then how I ended up with teachhoops.com and how I ended up with that side gig, which has basically allowed my wife to not work full time since our kids were born. My side gigs have allowed that. So, that was something I wanted to do. We couldn't really afford for her to stay home full time, but my side gigs allowed me to do that. I'm hoping this helps teachers, especially in these hard times over the next couple of years, which Jake and I were talking about before we came on too.
Let's not get into that though, please.
Yeah. That it will help you. So I'm not selling anything. I'm not doing anything at this point. I'm just trying to help teachers find a side gig. So if you like listening to this deep voice, which I've always thought I should be like on a, 105.7, bringing the Valley soul kind of thing. I've always thought I had a radio voice, that deep voice. But anyway,
you do.
that was my tagline when
a radio voice is a teacher voice a lot of the
time. It is.
So,
that was my tagline when I was at Lawrence. I had like the midnight to 2 a.m. spot on the radio show, and it was
I did. That's cool.
Bringing the Valley soul. It was because.
But many people don't listen to you at midnight, though.
No, my friends did, because they were
that's cool.
studying, because it was Sunday night. They were all up studying, trying to get their work done for Monday. But anyway, go over and check it out. Teacher Side Gig. It will be. I think it's my baby. It's what you can do when you have a world pandemic. You have a little extra time. So I'm crazy enough to have 3 podcasts, and I actually have a 4th in the tank. That's going to be coming out, I'm hoping, by the end of summer, which is life lessons. And I'm going to do that for my kids. Life lessons that I want them to know. So at some point when I'm not around, they can go listen to them or watch them on YouTube. And I'm going to I'm going to share them with everybody. So that's coming out. We'll see. Hopefully by July, but that will be once a week too. Just like high school hoops, and just like Teacher Side Gig right now. I'm hoping to do Teacher Side Gig twice a week, but I want to stay married. Okay.
All right.
Off we go. Sorry.
Yes.
They call that bird walking in teaching.
Yeah.
You just kind of just go. It was better to get off the other topic, because the other topic makes me irritated. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, good. So yeah, I think money is going to be a big issue this year in general. Well,
good lead in. This was a good lead in. I never thought of that. That was a good.
And you were kind of going on a political tangent, but we're not, because political tangent. There's tons of fundraising in that aspect too, but we're not going to go into that. But effective ways for fundraising for your team or your program, and I think there are really a lot of different avenues. I think when the next couple of years, and people are talking about this, the budgets are going to be smaller. We're going to have to find ways to fundraise.
Well,
And
and
people's
here's
pockets.
here's my concern with fundraising. Here's my only concern for people that are thinking about it, and that's why I'm hoping that this kind of people just kind of gravitate toward this when they see it on the description. Is, first of all, for high school athletics, there's the pizza place down the street, or there's the t-shirt place that you buy from, whatever, that have always supported your programs during good times, and some of them are struggling right now. So I think this is a very fine line of asking them for more money in these difficult times. Like there's a restaurant called the Nitty Gritty who has been great to us, has been great to the school district in Madison. It's called a birthday bar, a birthday restaurant.
Yep.
And I've tried to go there for takeout a couple days a week just to give back, because they've been so good to our school and to our program. It's where I go when we win a state championship. That's where I go. And they've been good. And I'm not asking them for money. I'm trying to give them money at this point. So I just think it's really going to depend on who you're asking and what you're asking at these times. Our athletic department has really tried to even rally about try to do takeout, try to do these things from these different companies, because I just think fundraising's got to pivot a little bit. Parents aren't going to maybe have as much money, all of those things. So I think when you're doing fundraising, I think you got to think with global thought rather than, this micro, like I'm thinking just about my team. Not that it's not important, and not that we're still going to need new things. I just think you have to really think about your specific community, and how you're not only going to try to fundraise, but how you're going to try to support the people that have been there for previous fundraisers.
I think when we talk about fundraising, I think you kind of plan backwards and think about the things that you're fundraising for.
Yeah.
I think people often, we're just going to do fundraiser for the boys basketball program, girls basketball program, but people want to know where that money's going and what you're buying with it. You're more likely to get more money out of it when there is an end goal.
Right.
An end goal, they just don't want to give money to just give money. They want to see an end goal.
Right.
So that's the first thing. I think another thing is this, and the reality is, like, how can you get your players involved? This shouldn't be and other coaches involved too. Like, this should not be something else that you put on your back. Like, you need to, if you want to be successful at fundraising, you have to have other people involved in supporting you, because you can only do so much.
Right. And I think the fundraisers at this time is going to be not the free throw-thon where you shoot free throws and grandma and grandpa give you money maybe for how many free throws you make. I think this type of fundraiser needs to be, we're going to do a car wash. We're going to bring salt for your water softener to your house. We'll bring 5 30-pound bags or 50-pound bags and load them for you. We'll charge you $7. If they go to the store, it will cost them $4, kind of thing. So we're giving you I think it's got to be service based. And this is where you can, what you're talking about, getting your kids involved. Car washes, you're not going to make more than a couple $100, but you're giving a service and they're working, which I think is important.
With a product and people, they're not just going to give out flat donations right now. It's going to be, you have to, it's like a bait and switch kind of thing. Like, you have to like,
but you can also do something that, like, the old people can't load the salt in their water softener. Shoot, I've already started to think about, oh crap, Drew's leaving. Like, I mean, the last 4 or 5 years, he's been able to help me take him into the basement. Now it's like, oh crap, I got to do it. And it's like, I'm not 10 years younger when I just pop them over my shoulder kind of. I mean, I can still do it, but in 10 years, it's like, shoot, I'd pay twice the price to have someone just take them to my basement for me. So,
right.
I think that's and here comes the problem, is how do you social distance and do some of those things too? I get that. Washing your car, some of those things I think you can still do. I don't know. What else? What do you think?
Well, I'm just trying to think of all the things I've done and like where that sits. I've had like chili suppers. Well, that's not going to happen right now. I've done like selling gear, free throw-a-thons, all that stuff. Like, I just don't know
And
where.
gear can still work. Gear
Yeah,
can still work because they're getting something, and you're getting some. Here's a $12 T-shirt, and you charge them 16. You make $4 on. I mean, that still works because they're getting something. They're probably not going to buy as many shirts when you think about the global part of it. You're not going to sell as many shirts because people don't have as much money. You know,
I've seen people like if you can get to your local businesses and do some type of coupon card with local businesses would help small businesses. I know I've heard programs make a lot of money doing that.
we've done that, but we're not doing a fundraiser this year. Like
Okay.
our athletic department has decided we're not doing one because we're not going to ask our community to go out and buy $20. We're not doing that.
Right.
So I think that's so, and I probably will just sit because I'm probably okay. We're probably okay, but I just think I think before you jump in, you really got to think about the world we're living in. Of 14% unemployment, all these kind of people are being furloughed, people are being laid off, businesses are at 20, restaurants are at 25% capacity. I just think you got to think about that. And then you also have to set your bar realistically about, we've raised $10,000 every year. Well, this year we're only going to raise 3. Like, I think you got to,
And I also think you got to look at like necessities. Like, this is not the year where you go, oh, we need brand new, brand new jerseys.
I know. I'm so happy. We got new jerseys last year well, I'm not coaching volleyball this year, but both sports last year, we got brand new jerseys.
Right.
Yes. Because I wouldn't be going and asking for that now,
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And, if it comes down to making sure that you have adequate basketballs and making sure that you have good sanitation stuff and making sure that your court is clean and all those things in your locker rooms and all those things, like, I think that your fundraising this year has to be very, very slim and meaningful and really about, can the kids properly play? You
Right.
can't go. I don't think you go for big ticket items this year. I think it makes you look selfish. I also think it makes it. I don't think it makes your program look good right now. I think you got to look at just the bare necessities, and I'm all for people saying, "Oh, we need 10 new basketballs this year."
And you might need new basketballs. Shoot.
Right.
I mean, personally, I'd buy them myself if I had to, just take it out of my pay. Like, you're going to need, like, literally the one thing I probably need is basketballs. Like, because I don't know if they don't make them as well as they used to.
Oh, they don't, dude. I'm telling you right now.
They wear out fast.
I'm a Wilson Evolution guy now because of the TF 1000. It's gotten better. A couple years ago, it was really bad. But like, I remember some of the TF 1000s, they would last for like 15, 20 years.
Right.
And like now they last 2 to 3 and they're done. Not even. They're garbage.
Right. It's not like I'm playing them it's not like I'm playing outside with them.
Or on like a multi-surface, you're not. You're playing on hardwood floors. So, yeah, I definitely think that is something, in particular that
they changed the legacy now.
They did.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a better ball or not, but
okay.
I
just don't, I full timeout. So I took
Yes.
the time to get. All right. So I got some really good ones in the next couple weeks here.
Okay.
Shh.
I will be voting for Biden. Oh, that's not the question. Sorry.
So
I'm losing listeners. I gotta shut up. Go ahead.
What is one thing an undersized player can do to elevate their game?
Get stronger. Get stronger. Get smarter. And what do I mean by smarter? I mean they have a better basketball IQ, so they can get smarter and have a better basketball IQ, and they can get stronger. Those two things you can control. You can't control your 5'7".
Yeah.
The quickness and the speed thing, yes, but I'm not sure the benefit. The cost benefit for speed and agility is there, but it takes longer. You can get stronger faster, and you can get smarter faster than you can maybe get necessarily quicker on the side steps. I don't know. That's just
for me. I kind of look at as skill base or ways of being it. Thought of a couple players. I remember playing high school ball. They were 5'6", 5'7". They could shoot lights out from the gym. So if they could shoot 25 feet out, like they got to pull up and shoot, and then they, the shutter step. So if you increase your range as a small player, you're going to be far more successful.
Yep.
Because even if they come out hard, you're going to be able to create separation off of that because you have such good range. The other thing that I think is always really good is to teach players how to use the rim to protect themselves. So that would be another way that players could be able, undersized players can elevate their game, is learning how to use the rim to protect themselves.
Awesome. All right.
Awesome.
Till next week. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Hey, Coach, I'm glad you enjoyed that video. Let me know how I can help you become a better basketball coach. Teachhoops.com is one way that I can do that. I have coached at every level, won lots of championships, lots of rings. Let me know how I can help you become a better basketball coach on and off the court. So check out teachhoops.com for that.